Good morning, good evening, or good riddance. Welcome to the Spire RIFFCAST, where we'll be discussing all things metal, non-metal, and every point in between. With this podcast, we hope to lift the veil on our world in metal music and dig into some topics we've wanted to share with all of you. This will be informal, so please take our content with a grain of salt and a sense of humor. Right now, you're listening to the RIFFCAST, episode 19. I am guitarist Pat Young, and I'm here with drummer of metal band Glass Skeleton Death March, Julian Nottage.
Hello, folks listening in.
Let's riff.
Wow, there's been 19 of these?
I think. I always get the number wrong.
Huh. You should just make up a new number every time.
I do, and then and it's wrong every time.
Nobody calls you on it.
I don't know. I call myself
Welcome
on
to
it.
RIFFCAST number 47. There's one person out there is like, wait, no way. Where have I been? Last time it was 17.
Yeah, that was me, the one person that goes back and listens to it. But yeah, so starting this is it always ends up starting. I think we wanted to start at 7 o'clock, and it's 8:45 right now. And I was rummaging around for everything, like what to actually record this on. I couldn't find it. It ended up being we cleaned our house recently, so it ended up being in the cabinet with all of our tools in it, the actual recording device.
It's a tool.
I get not for you're not gonna like hammer a nail in with it. It's got microphones sticking out of it. I don't know why it was there, so I finally get all this leveled out and good to go. So I'm hoping that it's in fact recording, and
I feel really dumb.
If you're listening to this,
it
it worked. And if it cuts off, then I forgot to put a new battery in it. I'm so unprepared.
And if it cuts off, then the time machine worked, Morty. It worked.
Yeah, so I'm just drained. And then on top of that, I apologize. You come over here, you're waiting around. We're watching dumb videos on YouTube and talking shit while I'm just half listening,
we had a sweet
trying to
Mac update to wait for.
Yeah, and then your son calls you, and then I feel more
son.
like shit ever. It's just a phone call like, well, he woke up from a nap and he just misses you, and I'm just like,
my parents.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
In my head, I'm like
sitting here like doing a podcast with you.
In my head, I'm like, so what? The boy woke up. Dad wasn't there. What's new? My parents are like, he was sad. He was upset. So I gotta kind of play into it, but really, he wakes up and his dad ain't there. Pretty normal.
But I wow, that's you sound awesome on this. I'm not editing that out. We're leaving this shit in here.
People need to know how I do my parenting. It's not well. That's all I gotta say.
Well, no, it's you, but you have it tough though. Like you live in Oneonta, and
I live 3 hours from him.
You live 3 hours, and every time I text you or call you or something, just like to do one of these where you know that you're gonna have to wait for half of it before we can do it. You're usually up in Syracuse. You know.
Yeah.
You have a full-time gig. And you're in a band that's also not in Oneonta.
Oh my God, I know. I'm the last one.
You live Oneonta. You come up here in Syracuse. You go up to Albany.
I find that funny though.
Zach and Julio live, right?
Yep.
And AJ, they all live up there, and you're down in Oneonta.
Zach and Julio share their bunk bed apartment. That's what I thought it was before I actually went there. They don't actually have bunk beds, but they should. Yeah, I'm the last one in Oneonta. Isn't that weird? I find that weird.
For me, and we just had. That's why I wanted you over here, because we just had a gig in Oneonta, and together, Spire and GSDM, and it's been I think 2 years, because the gig was on May 7th. It's been almost 2 years since the last time we played there. Last time we did. I know you guys have played there in and out.
We had one at the Black Oak like a couple months ago, but before that, man.
When that was a last minute call,
that was a week ahead of time. Right. It was like, hey, you want to fill this spot? And I was like, let's try it. Let's give it a shot. And before that,
nothing.
It had been so long.
So the last show that we played, and it might have been, other than that last minute ad that you guys had, we played, it was in June, and I don't remember the exact date, but yeah, it was like Rise of the Locals, where Zach Town, our guitar player, made the collage style flyer, you know. Yours was like, it was like everybody had like a genre name, and it was like goofy, and you guys were like Sweaty Dude Metal or something. Sweaty Dude Metal.
That's so accurate.
It is. It really is.
Especially when you're talking about Zach. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's. I live with him too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, our Zach Town is nicely kempt. Their Zach Consular, he just has a lot of socks. From what I remember, it was all socks.
I know,
all around in the room.
Aren't black socks literally the worst thing to wear if you're trying to keep your feet like not sweaty or not
I don't
gross?
know.
The dude by the.
Hey man, I don't see color. I don't see color, man.
Oh right,
yeah.
I forgot about that. 2016, everyone better be colorblind. No, he had black socks laying around, and that continued until he moved to Albany. I think it still continues in Albany. I'm surprised Julio's still in the band, to be honest. Like, more of a
living
test.
with him now, yeah.
It's not enough to, like, play the parts and do your job as guitarist. Like, that's fine. The ultimate test was living with Zach and then still wanting to do it.
Yeah.
That was, like, the gauntlet.
I still and I still miss it too, and that's the thing is that like Oneana for me being like the alma mater,
Yeah.
and you as well, and we all met each other there, and we had all these great moments that constantly come up on Facebook, like when they hit those milestones, and it's like this photo was from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 fucking years ago.
Did you see the one I just shared this morning?
No.
All right, so one
Last
came
one was
up.
Sword of Truth goes to the beach. And we were in
Yeah.
Sword of Truth.
It was another Sword of Truth one.
But you weren't drumming. You weren't drumming
I
with
was in
us
the
for
audience.
that.
Yep. That picture was literally me in the audience giving you the wavy fingers while you did a solo.
Yeah.
Which I still do. I did it just last Saturday. I don't know.
What
if you
was the new
noticed.
picture then?
All right, so the one I just put up was when we played at the General Clinton pub for the last time, and we had already played for Power Glove, so I stole the idea of the flag thing behind the drummer's back.
Yeah.
And it was my roommate Aaron's amp guard, whatever you want to call it there. What do they call that? LARPing.
Oh.
His like LARPing sword things.
Yeah.
I belted them
So you're
to
like
my
X'd
shirtless
up in the
body.
back.
Yep. And I hung 2 pieces of paper that said Sword and Truth on each side. And that came up today. Literally, I woke up this morning and was like, oh, yeah, not ashamed. Whoop, share it. It was good.
But I don't like when those pictures come up.
Why?
And
Because of the nostalgia?
Yeah.
Can't deal with the fact that it happened already and it's
Yeah, and that's
we're much older.
So what I feel like is it really that like when I come around Oneana, and it's usually for a show or something random, something that I really have to plan out.
Yeah.
To get down there, because otherwise it's really like Oneana for me. It's in the middle of Route 88, and it's in between Binghamton and Albany. There's no reason for me.
No reason to be backpedaling through those parts, huh?
And that's the population. That's pretty much, exactly. Like
You don't look like you from around here, boy.
they don't have a 12-inch reed sticking out of their mouth. They can't give you directions. But
I'm looking
no,
for Brewery Omegang. Yeah, it's back the way you came.
it's back the way you came. I love that place, and every time I go there, I feel more disconnected with it. Every time I feel like it's a new place, more so each time I go there, and that's me being like Brooks and Shawshank, like he's like the world went and got itself in a big and I go there and I don't even know. I'm like institutionalized by being back home, and so. Is it really that things have kind of, I know there hasn't been a lot of metal there, but it seems like things have kind of dissipated in terms of like the action down there, like the nightlife. And I don't know that it has. It's only because I look back when those pictures pop up, especially when they say like, hey man, remember how cool life was for you?
Right.
Like,
no, I get that same thing.
And it's college, so you're isolated in this bubble of just do whatever you want kind of
and
thing
those are
without
all my
as
Facebook
much
memories.
repercussions, because people say, wow, that's college, like you did, double murder, but it was in college, and that's fine.
That was my freshman
year. You got
year.
a big calzone afterwards. and that's the nostalgia part that I think makes it always look like it was that much better.
Like wicked awesome when in
Right.
the reality could have been like, that
it
was
might
okay.
be now. I just don't know, and that's my thing is that's why I don't like him, because it's nice. Like I'm like, oh, I remember, that's awesome, and I go, oh yeah, Julian was in Sword of Truth with us, but it had been so long that like that picture was from when he wasn't drumming in that side project that we had.
There was the entire saga before I even joined.
Yeah, when we actually had a
Getting all
record
that
with
started.
with
Yeah.
Koenig, Alex Koenig, drumming on this previous record that we had,
Got it all
the only
started.
record we had. And then you were drumming for us after that for a while, so it had been that long.
We played a lot of good shows. I felt really bad for Alex, actually, that he left right before the good shows. Like I loved going to your shows before, but as soon as I jumped in, we had like the Poughkeepsie show at the Chance. We had
Only time
O-Fest.
Sword of Truth ever played out of Oneonta.
Oh, really?
Outside of it, yep.
And then we had O-Fest. Like, again, you guys played Main Street O-Fest and then Main Stage the year after, and then the Power Glove show. And then,
O-Fest is the activity-funded, or it's not even, it's free, but it's like
It's
your
funded by,
activity
like,
fee
the
and all that
college
stuff
and-
pays into getting like just some artist, like I think when we did like, there's 2 stages and you do a battle of the bands, and when you get a certain placement on it, you get to play on the main street, and that's just like flat ground, and they have kind of like a mini stage, and just the walk-bys can like see your show. And we Sword of Truth did that with our other drummer, hence that photo.
That was the picture I
and that
put
was
up.
Sword of Truth goes to the beach. We had some questionable language
So
in
your
it, so I
solution
put a snorkel over my mouth and sing still, all muffled.
Man. What's questionable about an album about shows and dicks and reproductive organs?
Yeah, and we got to do that in front of like families.
Literally, the first few lines are through the Ovum Valley and what was Fallopian
by
River.
the Fallopian River. Yeah, no, it was cock rock. Full.
That's family friendly. Come on.
All defined in that name, cock rock. And then the next time when you were drumming for us, we did the Battle of the Bands, and we actually we won the battle.
Yeah.
So we got to open for Pit Bull.
Dunka, dunka, dunka,
Yeah.
dunka, 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 dunka. Pew, pew.
Yeah. I'm like Fred Flintstone, make your bed rock. You're like, oh.
And even more impressive than that was the Michael Jackson tribute band that was between us and
Who's
Pitbull.
bad? Yeah.
Dude,
And they were great.
Nuts.
Yeah, they were great.
They were
and we
nuts.
opened with the Imperial
Yeah, the Imperial
March,
Death
but it was like a
March from
blast
Star
beat,
Wars.
you know?
Yeah, dude, that's right. Oh man, I've told this story to a couple of people. I have the funniest recollection of that show. So when we played, there was probably like 1,000 to like 1,500 there. I think at the most it was like 3,000, but obviously because we started, it was earlier in the day. So right up, I was watching the front of the stage the whole time, and there was these 4 girls, like I must have been under 18, probably like 15, 16 years old if I were guessing, and they were right up front. And I think it's because they wanted to see Pitbull, so they got there early, and they were smacked right up against the stage. And so we're playing in Sword of Truth, and we come out to the Imperial March, which I thought was dope as hell, and everybody was going to go crazy over it. And behind these girls, a couple rows, are all our buddies. So remember Pete Anderson and our old bassist from the very beginning, Lucas?
Yeah.
Remember Lucas? He's this scrawny little dude, and he's up on this giant, jacked friend of ours' shoulders, and they're running back and forth like he weighs nothing. So he's just running them around. A bunch of other dumb friends are just bouncing off each other, throwing each other around. So there's that little pit of friends, and these girls are just hating every minute of everything we're doing. They hated everything we did. Like
They weren't drunk
They
enough.
were they couldn't have been. I mean, unless they were really trying to sneak it in. But they were not there for that. They were not signed up for metal.
Keep in mind, this is a family
Yeah.
accepted event.
This is all
it's
ages,
in a park.
all people, all
It was in a
walks of
park
life.
in
Yeah.
Oneonta. It was daytime, and we're up there with Star Wars masks and
Yeah,
wigs and
and we had the sleeves of temporary tattoos.
temporary tramp stamps.
We put entire sheets of temporary tattoos up our arms.
We looked pretty badass.
So these girls are hating everything. So we play the whole set, and they didn't like smile once. And I remember just dead eye staring at them like, what am I gonna have to do to make these bitches like do something? I was like, come on, I'm giving you gold here.
Thus is the meaning of life.
So we finished the set with the pop medley, which had all sorts of 90s and past 90s. It was like early 2000s
Scarface
pop.
Theme song, Miley Cyrus when she was doing the Party in the USA.
Yeah, and
Jock
that's
jams.
what we started with. Yeah, we had this whole pop medley. Yeah. Everybody dance now. Oh, that was so good. So we start off at, I think the beginning was Miley Cyrus, right?
No, we started off with R. Kelly.
Oh, was it? Okay. Then I don't think they knew what that was. Because I remember it being Miley Cyrus.
Probably because they weren't born yet.
Yeah, that's exactly why. And as soon as we got to the guitar, they lit up right over. Their eyes opened up real big, and they went, "No way!" And I could see them like mouthing it, and I just was still staring at them, like mean mugging them, and I was like, "Of course, that's what gets you going, isn't it?" And we're just playing this pop medley, and I'm like, "Mm-hmm." That's what you wanted the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's all it took for them to actually get into it. And unfortunately, that was the end of the set. We finished with that song.
All our buddies started like moshing.
Yeah.
Did we throw out the cardboard swords at that one, or was it beach balls?
It must have been beach balls. I don't think we threw the swords out. I think
we had to
threw
make them
all
all
the
by
swords
hand.
away.
We had to make them all by hand.
Yeah. That was for
It's
the
all
Power Glove
cardboard.
show.
Yeah.
And we put condoms on some of them.
Yeah, and we did the wall of death.
Oh man, that was cool. Yep.
And then that was the breakdown was protect yourself. And I just threw out a bunch of condoms into the crowd like pyro.
Yeah.
And then I had to do a disclaimer. I said, please don't use those.
Yeah, don't use those.
We're
Those
not
are- those are bad.
responsible. We're not going to pay child support for any of your kids that you
We don't know what we've been doing with those. They've been bouncing around in trunks.
Yeah.
And, you know.
I don't know what year I grabbed those from the resident advisor basket that was like down
Grabbed
in
in
the
my
lobby
first year like
of
a
your dorm.
hotshot freshman, and here I still have them because I'm a loser. So don't use those.
Yeah, please do not use those.
Yeah, that was good band bonding right there. Cutting a bunch of cardboard, chode size swords, and taping them together and throwing them out at people. That was cool.
Dude, everything about Oneana was so much fun, and that's why when we came back, it kind of it seemed like it had diminishing returns because it wasn't Sword of Truth anymore, and people would see because obviously people who don't know Sword of Truth listening to this, like Sword of Truth was serious musicality put into a complete joke. It was all puns, like medieval puns.
They were well written too.
and it was just fun for people that didn't even like metal or understand it, but they would
really
come out to the
brought
shows because we would do a mix, and it wasn't pandering. It was funny stuff that we're like, how can we make this song metal? Oh, let's do What Is Love from Hathaway, or by Hathaway.
You did Shania Twain once.
Shania Twain. I wrote the stupid lyrics on my hand because I forgot them. Man, I feel like a woman. I'm like, man, I feel like a dumbass, dude. I was sweating, and it went instantly off. So I just did the whole, like, I copped out, and I just put the mic up to all the ladies, and they're all just like, no, I don't want to sing. I don't want to sing. I'm like, I know you know the words because I don't. I need help. I really need help.
Sing the damn song.
I think I got Let's Go, Boys, and that was about it. Yeah, no,
That's awesome.
So we did fun stuff, and people liked it, and they kept coming out to the shows because we did a mix, and we made some of those songs metal, and then I prided myself on saying, like, let's do the real arrangement. That was cool too, because we would get all the metal guys pumped up, and they'd be pacing back and forth.
Oh, there was some
and it would, they'd be pacing back and forth,
parts.
and I'd be like, "All right, guys, are you ready? Let's go. Let's break this down." I'd amp everybody up, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I used to think that I could not go on, and we do the actual song.
And everybody just what?
Yeah. I know I've told this on the cast before, but like the whole point of this is that you come back. We would come back with Spire, and when I graduated, and you guys, were still there for a little bit. Zach was still down there, and we shot the Reinvent the Race music video down there, and we still had people down there, like our friends that still had that extra year left.
Yep.
Like basically it was a lot of you guys. And Mike Elliott and I, old Spire drummer, we moved to Albany in doing the internships
Before
there.
it was cool.
And before it was cool, yeah. Everyone's moving to Albany. It's Smallbany, man. Everybody knows each other.
Smallbany.
But that we go back every year, and it was like you really had to put a lot of work into networking and getting people out, whereas before you didn't really have to. We still did, but the shows succeeded. It was either a success or wow, that was a incredible turnout, way beyond expectations, but it was at least a success. And there was a couple shows where we were just like, okay, like
thanks for coming.
This was a tough day, this was a tough one. We'll
I
have
see my roommate.
Yeah, we'll
hey,
have to get
dude.
have to get it back on the next one. And we certainly didn't want to overplay it, but then what happened was like in the metal community around there was a lot of those guys that it's like blood, sweat, and tears to keep these money out of their own pockets to keep the shows going. They were the lifelines.
Definitely.
And at some points, it was only like one guy that was like doing the shows. So we were really grateful to get on those. And then those guys, they have life changes too, and Oneonta can kind of be a pit for some people, like staying there, and it's nothing against them, but like obviously that's a place you can certainly build an amazing life down there, and
you just get comfy.
It's a comfortable place,
comfy little corner.
But some people you could just tell they had it in their eyes. They wanted to like go out and do other things and see other parts of the country, really. And so a lot of those guys split, and they just kind of stopped doing that. And Oneonta kind of became a second home to them. And Oneonta started to stop being a second home to me. Yeah. And that was the tough part, is like things you come back and you say, oh, let's go here, and you're like, well, that's not around anymore. This is now this place, and it's like, oh, it's probably a cool place, and I'd love it if I went to school there, because that would be the place that I knew it as. Yep. But everything's changed, and so to get a metal show down there, like as I said, it's been 2 years, and it was really difficult to get that show, and the only reason
it took a lot of legwork.
Yeah, what was amazing to me, and the only reason we got that show was because Jeff Doyle, he's been in a bunch of bands down there.
I can't even count them all.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, Jeff Doyle's in the Holy Thunderbirds, and I will
Thunderheads.
Is it Thunderheads or Thunderbirds? It's Thunderheads. Yeah, sorry, Jeff. Again, not editing shit, but this is like a newer band that he's in.
Pretty recent.
And it seems legit. Everything I've heard, everything I've seen, like it's legit. And I wanted to have him on the podcast. It just got too late the last time we played down there. But he ended up doing sound for us, booking the show. He was working at the Foothills Performing Arts Center. And he hooked us up with the show. And it was kind of cool because I was very discouraged about not getting a show in Oneonta. And
it's been more difficult lately.
Yeah. And it came back full circle, because the first time that we got to play down there was, and I believe with Spire and meeting up with him when we started Sword of Truth, the first gig was from him. He got us that gig when he was, and he's been working through Foothills like on and off, Yep. Different seasons. They need his expertise, and he booked us down there when he was working there. It was the Oneonta Metal Fest. I don't even remember what year it was, but it had the Empire Shall Fall with Jesse Leach and all that.
Oh wow,
yeah,
man, yeah.
And it was a big deal.
I do remember that.
And he hooked us up with all these shows down there, and we went through 3 years of college. 4 years down there, and then a 2-year stagnant period most recently, and we finally get a show, and the reason is because of Jeff. It came back around.
Coming back through.
Yeah, because he's been in so many bands down there. Emanation, Two Step Sally, Nasty Midnight, all those bands.
Two Step.
And he's got to be in more too. I know there's more.
There's probably more that have happened that nobody really knows about. He hasn't mentioned.
Yeah, and with me, I know that it's like the people that came out to the shows, I'm sure some of them have moved on. They've moved elsewhere. They've gotten some busy jobs, busy lives, maybe even started families. But there's some of those people are still there. They don't go anywhere. So my thing is like, even though the metal show stopped, if I can just get a show together, these people, we just have to find them.
Yeah, there's a lot of faces, like familiar faces. Dreadlock Dave.
Yep.
Josh Gregory.
Yep.
Like some dudes that I've seen from the beginning that I still like. They came right out. No hassle, man. Showed right up. Yeah,
and I was very nervous, and this show actually was going to gauge whether or not we would play back there. I was going to say like, I'm done with the city. No offense to anybody. I just I'm done. I'll play in Binghamton. I'll play in Albany, but I can't do that. And I wanted 60 people there, and for metal bands, that's a solid show. So I wanted 60 people. I wanted 60, and I didn't think it was going to happen. And it was 58. We pulled 58 paid, and
cool.
It's kind of nice. It was like,
and that's
cool.
paid
People
too. That's paid like through the door. Imagine just the handfuls that either crept in or was with us from the start. Like, I could think of at least a couple faces who showed up with bands early on, who might have snuck through. But that's given. That's just how shows work. So in actuality, I wouldn't be surprised if like 75 to 80 rolled through, like individual people.
Well, and my thing is if those people that came out that were new faces would even say like, hey, I live down here. And I'm like, yeah, dude. If there's any friends that you have that would like this kind of thing, we wanna do this again. Like the show was a success in my book, and I want to do it again. I want to come back. I don't want to put 2 years between it. I want to be able to do this again as soon as I can. So I'm hoping that, not to resurrect a scene, I can't do that 2.5 hours away.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a lot of the reason why it got so dwindled.
But we can at least like get people interested that are that like it enough.
We could relive our own Facebook memories.
Yeah, that want to see like us come back down there again, and that is the reason. I can't stress it enough that they get some of their buddies, that are just sitting at home or whatever, to come out to those shows, and Oneonta can get a metal show every now and then.
Yeah, man. And that show that we just had, there was something in that for everybody, There was people there I know for a fact were not metalheads who had a great time.
Right.
We had a pretty diverse group there, so even if you think like your friend is not going to be into it, they might. You never know. It's always cool to just check it out. Like, if you're not doing anything, like, come on. Just give it a shot,
It's
man.
Definitely tougher than that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Nobody does anything outside of anything. I'm the only person doing anything.
Yeah. Well, I bitch about like getting people out to shows all the time on this thing. So I'm not hating on it. My whole thing is that like I went into that show that was just a week ago, right?
Wow, you're right. It was only a week.
And so I went into it saying, let's see what I appreciate. I gave you all the flyers because see, I can't even do it. I'm 2.5 hours away. I have to give you all the flyers to like. You're the guy that lives down there.
Oh, man,
you're the tie.
I learned I don't know how to operate a goddamn paper cutter. I tried to cut those handbills up and I shredded them. I still handed them out, but I shredded the hell out of them. I was like, what am I doing? You pulled through and you were able to get it out to one of the other bands in the area, and it's a big deal. Like, I think that matters. Flyering is kind of hit or miss, but and that person might not go to the show that sees the flyer, but at least like that's in their head. They're thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah, they're thinking about it, and maybe they wanted to go, but they can't. But like, there's buzz going on. Like, hey, there is metal in Oneonta. So that's what I went into it as. Like, we're just gonna throw this out there, see how it does, and I was satisfied with it.
I'd love to do it again at least sometime over the summer, hopefully.
I want to come back when we've got a bunch of new, when we've got like a new set.
Yeah.
Not completely new material, but when we've got a different show for them. Not just changing the order of the songs, being able to like give them a different show. Like, oh,
yeah, well, that's what I would hope too.
When I saw him back, last year or whatever, May 7th, and they did all these things, and like, oh, they did something. There's a bunch of new things here. Or, you know, I just want to change it up. So that's how I'm gonna go into it for next time when I say like, okay, we're ready to play here again. We're ready to make it as big of a deal as we can. We have a newer show for them. That's what I want to do is just update the ad.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
hopefully
that's what I'm. Whatever
I'm sure by
time
then
frame
we'll have
that
a
is.
bunch of new stuff too. So
Yeah, and you guys had you played is it 23
oh man,
minutes?
I think so. On paper it is. I don't know where it stands live, but
Okay.
it's at least 20 minutes.
And it's called
The Reckoning.
The Reckoning.
And it's a ass kicker.
Yeah. Oh, I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it and I went, nope. Glad I don't have to learn it.
Right?
I don't have to learn that
isn't
shit.
that fun? All right, so I can relate to that. So this song is like a couple years in the making. We started writing this, I think, back around when we lived together, when we all lived in Madison, is when we first started putting some of these ideas into like Guitar Pro. And I remember like stringing them together after like a couple of months when Zach was like, how funny would it be if we just strung all these parts and made just an epic? And I was like, that'd be pretty cool. And then like looking at them all, I was like, that same thought, don't have to learn that yet because it's not done. And then over time, it slowly became more real. And I was just getting to the point where I was like, I need to learn this soon. That's gonna destroy me. There is so much to this, and I need to like know it. But yeah. And now we're at the point a couple years later where I'm going to lay some drums down in a couple of weeks, and hopefully another month or two after that we'll have all the guitars and then vocals and have it out pretty soon. So
Cool. Pretty soon's good. Don't make any promises.
I'm not putting any sort of standby.
No tunes. Pretty soon.
Stay tuned, yo. 2016, my year. Some fire beats along the way.
Fire beats. God, I hate that word. Yo,
That's why I did it.
we get compliments now that I wish someone said, you know what, I liked your old stuff better. Because I hear people saying, hey, man, the new album, like, seriously, dude, I haven't heard you guys in a while. That shit's fire. And I just stop and I go, what?
That shit's fire.
What is that?
Did they call you
shit is
fam
fire.
afterwards? Yo, new album's lit, fam.
I don't understand.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, no, seriously, dude. I'll put
I've never had anyone tell
the
me
metaphorical broomstick on hitting the ceiling of your upstairs.
Everything's fire.
Quit telling
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
that isn't speaking.
It's
Yeah.
still a compliment.
But
I haven't had anyone tell me those words before.
you were telling me something new that's cool. Is that like you've seen some bands doing some live streaming stuff? That's what we were talking about. Before
Yeah,
the
we were talking about
podcast.
that earlier. Yeah, so my buddies from Oneonta, I went to school with all of them. Pat Tierney, Joe Kaplan, Andrew Platt. They're in this band called the Baked Potatoes. It's like a reggae funk kind of band. And they went on like a short mini tour on this like cool little short bus. Did you ever see their bus?
No.
Oh, dude, they had a legit like bus, like a short bus. It was dark blue. Put all their shit on there. They had like, I think they had beds in there somehow. I don't know. Somehow they made it work. There's like 6 people in this band because they got like brass.
Like is it a school bus?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it was ever like used for a school, but it is like a short school bus. Like when you think when you go outside and you
they
go,
sell the buses.
getting on the short bus.
You could buy a bus.
Well, they did.
You know what I mean? Like they sell them. They actually.
I don't know
There's
where
strips
they
do
got it
that.
from. I didn't really realize that you just could get your hands on one, and I saw them pull up in it once, and I was like, "Really, you guys got a bus? How the hell did you do that?"
Well, they lifted it out of the water that Simon Birch saved all those kids, and they sold it. They're like, it's good. Just dry it out.
Okay, good. Nobody wants this, right? Does it run? It runs. Yeah. So they
That's
they
cool.
had a little mini tour. They were traveling around to a bunch of different states, and Pat Tierney had a live stream from his phone. You can just on Facebook, you can just kind of start streaming, and I think it let everybody know because I got a notification. I was like sitting on my ass. I don't know what I was doing, like touching myself. I'm not really sure, but I got a thing, and it was like, "Bink." Pat
Some
Tierney's
things never
live
change.
streaming. Oh, of course not, and they will continue not to change because I know what I want. Anyway, sorry. So, yeah, I get a notification, and it's like Pat Tierney's live streaming. I click on it, and it's just all the dudes on the bus, and he was just talking about where they were and what they were doing, and it was such a cool idea because it just notified me, and I think it went to all their fans, anybody who likes them on Facebook.
Until Facebook limits now it only goes to 3% of your
right.
fans.
Until you pay more. Pay to boost this notification.
Yeah.
But it was a cool idea, and it got me thinking, like, when I go in to record drums and stuff, and for any other type of, like, you know, significant event, I want to live stream it, because it'd be cool to kind of be there. Because I like the hangout type of thing. I like when people are kind of hanging out when we're doing stuff. It never happens because, you know, we're practicing, and who's going to walk into AJ's house and be like, hey, GSDM, we know you practice on every other Sunday. We just wanted to chill. Ha ha ha. Which I would be cool with, but it's not going to happen. However, live streaming, totally possible.
Bring you right to practice. No, that's kind of cool.
See how unproductive we are.
I still need to film myself, though, and analyze it, because I don't want to just... I don't want to see how camera ready I am when I'm just sitting there being like, I think your tempo's a little off. No, I think you should fuck off. My tempo's pretty good. I got to know that the practice is like kosher before we're all bitching at each other.
Could you just give it to me one time when I count you in? Could you just come in on goddamn time? Is that thing still on? Geez.
Maybe if we rehearsed more.
Somebody put their hand over the camera real quick. God damn it, Mike. God damn it. Okay, all right. Take it off.
No, it'd be more like, okay, we can take the hand away from the camera now.
Yeah. No, there's stuff
good.
I wouldn't live stream. I wouldn't live stream a practice. That'd be kind of lame. But like the recording could be fun, you know, because like I'll be playing through the parts and we'll be like analyzing things and like I think Lamb of God did this once when they were coming out with Wrath. And it was the coolest thing ever. I thought it was awesome. Chris Adler playing drums.
Yeah.
They had just a webcam set up, and that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that before. This is like 2008 when Wrath came out, right? Somewhere around there.
I'm not sure.
It was still it was still through MySpace. That's how long ago it was. Yeah. And he's just in the studio, and so even since back then, I was like, cool idea. I'd like to make it work for myself. So.
Well, they do they live stream the concerts too.
That's cool.
Which I think it's a cool idea, but it's a little tough for me because just the concept of it. It sounds like a cool concept, and then I go like, okay, well,
who's gonna watch it?
Why don't you go to the show? Like, there's something about going to the show and having your eardrums bleeding afterwards. They get that ooh when you're falling asleep.
That was so awesome. What?
To me, like, for me to see like if I'm really digging a band or I'm usually I already know. I do the research, and I'm just like, okay, this band's coming to town. Like, I haven't seen these guys in like 10 years. I got to go see them.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the biggest compliment for a musically old man, because I'm not old. I say I'm old, and people go, oh, yeah, you're not fucking old, man. But, like, yeah, musically old man, where I got my earplugs in, what I'll do is I'll be like, yeah, these guys are crushing it. And I take my earplugs out, and I go, that's the biggest compliment to these guys, is that I'm willing to ruin my ears for you guys.
Understand that.
You understand
so
that,
well.
man? Like, you'll keep your hearing. And then, like, if you see me without my earplugs, man, you know you guys are crushing it.
Oh, wow. That's so funny. Now I feel like a dick because I don't take my earplugs out for anybody.
No, that's good. But that's a good thing. It's healthy. You're preserving your hearing. But for me, that's what I do.
I guess my equivalent would be if they fall out because I'm headbanging my ass off. Like at our show when I was watching you guys, I had to pick up my earplug like 4 separate times.
Okay, so your thing would be, hey, man, I always keep my earplugs in, but I was headbanging so hard they fell out, and you guys were hitting it so hard on stage, man, that I didn't even stop and look around to pick them up.
I didn't even get it. I left it out. My left ear is bleeding.
I got one. Hold on, stop karate chopping. Let me get the other one. You're stepping
Hold on,
it.
everybody. You know, hearing loss is a major problem in this country.
What? Yeah, so that's cool. Maybe we'll do something with that. We're trying to get a music video rolling too.
Yeah,
pretty soon. I'll say pretty soon again.
Okay,
because no promises.
Music video coming out soon.
Yeah, hashtag. It used to be a £.
Hashtag Snapchat me that music video.
Yeah,
if it's cool.
So yeah, man, there's a lot of amazing things that we need to investigate further, and there's just some stuff that it just takes me so long to warm up to. The lyric videos, people like to see them.
I know.
But I'm not thinking of other people. I'm thinking of me. I'm like, I don't want it.
I gauge my own interests a lot when I'm making stuff like that.
I need to not do that, man. I need to like.
It's not a terrible. Well, it's not a terrible thing unless it's preventing you from putting anything out. It shouldn't stop you from making anything. It should stop you from making garbage.
Yeah.
That's what I tried. Like, I actually had a lyric video on deck for one of our songs, but it was
You showed
something
me.
off
I think
the
you showed
first
me the
album.
early stages of it.
Yeah, like the first half of it, and I'm waiting. I'm sitting on it because I don't want to make it for our first album stands now, because we're in the process of remixing the first album to make it sound better.
Yeah.
Because the next stuff we put out, it's going to be so much better given the equipment we have access to. Our first album is going to sound even more like trash. So we're going to remix it out, put it back out for free. Obviously, I don't think we're going to charge anyone for it. Like, if you already bought it, we're just going to give it to you. But I'm sitting on it for that version. So then I'll have this lyric video that I made, and it's the first one I've ever made. So I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like, all right, does this look cool? Would this hold my interest if I was just some schmuck looking at this, not knowing who it is or what it's by? Like, would I want to keep watching it? Because I've seen some lyric video. You know, there's like the Windows Movie Maker lyric videos that are just like straight up the lyrics. There's nothing to
Karaoke
it. It's
screen.
the song,
Yeah.
blue screen with
But
the words.
Dude, I've seen some people. Well, for me, I think the cool ones are like, you've got a little bit of your like glossy album cover in the background.
Yeah.
You've got the legitimate album cover, smaller, like in focus, and then like this the name of the song, and then like you're listening to or whatever, and then maybe the lyrics like pop up there, and it's like one,
or if there's like
kind
a
of screen,
break
you
where
know?
there isn't any lyrics, they'll have the art come up in between.
Right.
If there's like a musical break or something,
Mhm.
and they can get so deep. They can get.
I've seen some intense
Yeah,
ones.
Lamb of God has one actually that's really dope off their new album, and it's like
saw
like a
that.
dynamic video.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? The beginning of The Walking Dead. It's just like footage of like cityscapes and junk, no people or
Yeah.
anything, just the concrete, and it's like moving, and the words are like tracked to the background, like they're on the wall, and it moves with the camera. It like the camera pans
Right.
by some stuff, and the words pan past it. And
Borderline
that
music
was
video.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost, pretty much. Just no people, no acting,
Right.
nothing. It's just scenery and words, and that was a really cool. And you could get that deep. And then there's other things like I remember August Burns Red, when their Constellations album came out.
Mhm.
They had like the album art, but they made it like animated. It's like that guy in a field, and he's like holding some sort of string attached to like the moon or something. I never really got what it was, but they like animated it. They like zoomed in on it, made the guy like do some things, and had the words come up. So I don't know, lyric videos can be pretty cool, but
Right.
you got to do it well, and that's what I'm kind of balancing on. Is I'm like, is this cool or is this stupid? Like,
Right.
I never.
And
know.
I don't, and I don't know. Like, I'm none of us like have that knowledge and time commitment to like put into doing one that legitimate that's going to hold someone's
Yeah.
interest, because I can see it, and I just see all of the time that goes into it. I'm sure a lot of those like a lot of the bands send off, and they get a source to
Oh, yeah,
do it,
probably.
and I know
Like a
those
production
guys have to
company
have
and
like
stuff.
some sort of template or whatever that they use,
Mhm.
that they've gotten down, but they've had to put in the work to get it there. All
Yeah.
this like high definition shit.
See, I love that stuff. I'm always interested in it. And
Yeah.
for me, it works out well because I don't get to see my band guys as often. I only get to see them every other week.
Mhm.
So in lieu of practice, I kind of put more of my time towards like getting product out to people. And
Mhm.
lyric videos are a good way for me to do it because I can't get those assholes out here to film their dumb faces and, make a video. So if I can just create lyrics on a screen, I can just do it on my own. So that's the path I want to go down. It's just,
Right.
it takes time, and I don't want to put out a bunch that are crappy until I have kind of honed it a little bit. But
Right.
that's kind of what I'm looking at now is I'm just trying to generate as much interesting stuff as I can to keep people's attention without the ability to constantly have everyone there,
Right.
So,
It's tough now.
and I don't want to
have
resort to
everybody
just
there.
making memes.
Oh. Well, dude, your funniest one. We'll close on this. I know you gotta get going, but you did a few videos recently that you made a character, and it's only because we've been playing a bunch of shows together recently.
you might be talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spire Man. Okay, can you just describe Spire Man? Because this is
Okay.
what you guys got to do after we describe it. Is you got to watch the Glass Skeleton Death March. Go to their Facebook page, and they also have it on their YouTube too. There's
Some of you guys shared it too. Like Zach Town shared it too. You could find it through his stuff.
And it's just the Glass Skeleton Death March. Any video that they've posted, and it's got this character in it, Spire Man, while you're trying to promote the show
Yeah.
for you guys and playing with us. But what the hell is Spire-Man for?
So Spire-Man was
guys?
born because I got the care package in the mail. I ordered your guys' hoodie, shirt, sticker, CD combo, like the big package. And it was pretty close to when we were going to play that Parish House show.
Yeah.
And I like to make a video before our shows just to get people, interested, rather than just post a picture of the flyer of the show. I want to get people interested and involved, and I want to, do something fun. I like to have fun. So I try to make an update video. And I was just sitting there by myself, obviously, because I spend most of my time away from everyone, and I'm just in Oneonta alone, and I'm like, I got to come up with this video. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just me. I don't want to just talk into the camera. That's dumb. And I'm looking at all of this Spire merch that I just got, and I was like, how funny would it be to wear all of these things at once and just be the ultimate Spire fanboy and just have all the things on, including the stickers. Like, I was like, all right, T-shirt, hoodie, that's all the clothing, but it's got to go further. I'll just slap a sticker on my face, and I'll have all this stuff on at once. So I just started formulating this idea of this, like, crazy, wicked fan crazed guy who wears all your merch at once and is just so obsessed that he's trying to get everybody to go to the show. And I was like, all right, I could roll with this. And it kind of just snowballed from there. I like hit the points
All right, sorry about that. the device cut out, the battery wore off. So this is just Murphy's Law today, and it's mostly my fault.
What you didn't get to see is Pat's hair lighting on fire as he stormed around the room.
Well, instead of getting a fresh battery for the podcast, I just decided that I would check the battery life on this like 5 different times during our conversation, and then when it finally cut out, the good news is it wasn't that much.
But you never gave me the fast forward symbol. You never gave me the wrap it up, it's dying.
Yeah. No, but luckily we didn't miss too much. You're talking about Spire-Man, and Spire-Man makes disgusting threats to the people, including your other character, which is you, doing the video.
Yeah,
to
making threats to myself to go to the show. I'm already on the list to go to.
Yeah, and it's all poop references, and
Did it get my favorite one?
It didn't. We didn't pick up your.
Okay.
We lost your favorite one.
My favorite one was he threatened to shit in a sock and then freeze it and then beat me with the frozen shit sock for already going to the show that I was planning on, playing.
Yeah,
so.
we'll get Spire-Man. It'll be the new mascot that no one will understand at our shows.
Want.
Yeah, and he will get the shit kicked out of him.
He's not the hero they wanted. In fact, he's not a hero. In fact, get him the hell out of here. Jesus Christ, get him out of here.
But yeah, so just the lasting impressions on the podcast. Anything new when you guys are talking about? You're not really booking shows.
Yeah, well, we're looking. We have our eyes and ears open, but we haven't gotten anything yet on there. Our horizon's pretty clear, and that's mostly to focus on recording the new Reckoning song, which is going to be 20-something minutes, but we're going to chop it up. The EP will be chopped up into tracks, and then we'll put it on the second album, sorry. We don't have a second album yet. It'll be at the end of the second album, too, as one song. So before just dumping a 20-minute song on somebody, we figured it'd be better to dump the song as one solid piece with the tracks labeled and cut so you can get to know the pieces and the parts. It's about the plagues of Egypt.
Oh, very cool.
Right? That's what the theme of it is. So
got to get Carl from Nile up in there.
Oh, yeah, he would just be so mad. He'd like,
sue you.
Oh, yeah, Egypt? Nobody thought of that before. But George would be cool, I bet. George would be like, oh, yeah, nice. That's very cool. Oh, looking forward to hearing it. And then he'd wear our shirt. It's like what he does.
And you wouldn't see the shirt because he's surrounded by 15,000 drums.
Oh, my God. He'd see my boner, I bet. He'd get a good look at that guy.
That's not his first rodeo. He's like, oh, okay, people love me, whatever.
I love George Coley. He's fucking awesome. So yeah, focusing on recording, hopefully getting a live video of it happening. I want to keep everyone updated, so there's going to be plenty of videos, plenty of this is what we're doing things, and that'll be one little fun thing that's on the horizon. We recently, this has nothing to do with music, I'm sorry. We recently played
and anything in between.
Yeah,
any point in between, non-metal.
Yeah. Anything in between. So we recently played a GameCube game. You might remember the name Gauntlet. Remember Gauntlet? Mm-hmm. So we played Dark Legacy for like 3 hours, And the whole goal was to make it into a drinking game, and we took drinks when people died, when we did certain things. We had to drink for whatever reason. And the goal was to beat the game. We did not come close at all. We played for about 3.5 hours. AJ got too drunk, and we had to cut filming. But I'm working on cutting that up now, and that'll be a fun little just side thing that we did just in the free time, hanging out with GSDM style. So that'll be out, but don't put too much focus on that. I'd rather people take away.
It's cool though. You guys are funny. You guys are a bunch of goofballs.
We have
it's
fun.
Funny to.
We have fun.
It's fun to watch those videos. It gets people. It gets people interested in the other things.
I'd like people to get to know us. You know what I mean? I feel like
Right.
you
the
have
video
more.
is better, and you actually do it in a creative way that you do put in time editing. And
I love
it's not
it.
like
It's a
just a
great time
random
for me.
post that's like shouldn't have had a taco today. Like some bands I don't.
Just
That's why
them booting
Facebook's
on
like,
their
yeah, it only
webcam.
goes to like 2% of your fans now. How's that taco taste
This is
now?
crap. We know it's crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got stuff coming out. It's just takes time, but we're working on putting as much out as we can. So stay
Good.
tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
can't get that
#. Yeah. But all right. So yeah, no. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, man.
Tell your son I said sorry for keeping you.
He's gonna have a grudge for
so
the rest
bad.
of his life.
He
He'll
will.
meet you again, like in a little while when he's grown up a little more, and he'll be like, "I don't like him, Daddy. Why don't I like him? I just feel like I don't like him at all." And this will be why, right here.
Can we call Spire-Man to take care of that bad guy that keeps pulling you away?
Did Spider-Man put a Sharpie in his butthole?
A joke that didn't make it in here. It got cut off, so that now you just sound funny.
Well,
saying that.
Whatever. I'm used to it. Watch the videos.
Yeah. Funny Spire-Man videos.
He's a
So
good guy.
thank you. We're definitely adopting that mascot as our own. So
Good, I'm glad.
every time he's around, I can't find Julian. I always say, "Hey man, get over here, Spire-Man's
I
here."
gotta go
He's
to the
making
bathroom
threats.
or something.
So yeah, man, that's really cool to hear that you guys are actually going to bring that really long epic song to
It's gonna be crazy.
light. So that's cool. So I look forward to hearing
A bunch of years in the making. So
new
I'm-
pre-production and
Yeah.
recordings. So yeah, that's the RIFFCAST. Here's some show updates that we have. We're playing the Finger Lakes Metal Festival. The last time we played it was 7 years ago, 2009. And it's a free metal fest, and it's starting on Friday, May 20th, and we are playing Saturday, the 21st. And it starts Friday at 5 p.m., and the festival continues on Saturday, the day that we're on, at 12 p.m. And I want to say we're on around 7. It's Metal Fest. It's always subject to change, but we're on around then. So that's going to be great. That's in Clyde, New York. It's even hard to find on a map. It's going out towards Newark, Rochester area. So it's at Don Solars. So that's DON SALAAR apostrophe S.
Fettuccine
Don Solars.
Alfredo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just look it up. Don
Parmesan.
Solars. The world autocorrects us now, so we don't have to spell anything right. And we're also playing Saturday, June 10th, at the Lost Horizon with Dark Room and Steep. Actually, don't quote me on that. Is that a Friday or a Saturday?
June.
Yeah, get out your calendar.
Let me take out my smell phone.
But I'll move on with the other shows. God, this is professional.
10th is a Friday.
It's a Friday. Okay, so Friday. Jesus Christ. I'm not editing any of this. Fuck this, man.
Yeah. Doing it live.
Friday, June 10th at the Lost Horizon, we'll be playing with Dark Room and Steep. These are bands we've never played with before. And it's not they're from what I've heard from them, it's not like they're not like brutal metal bands. They're kind of get down and jam like progressive
cool.
progressive rock type
Ooh.
bands. So we're really looking
You guys are
forward
gonna
to
be
being
the
in that
heaviest,
mix. I don't know. I think maybe we'll do some Bob Dylan or something. I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah. But it's gonna be great. I love playing with different styled bands, and we're happy that Steep invited us onto that with them. So there'll be more details on that soon, and anybody on our email list, you'll get that information. We'll be sending out emails for that with all of the details. Friday, June 17th, we're in Rutland, Vermont at 3 D's. That's how you say it. It's the number 3, then D apostrophe S. So it's 3 D's.
Actually, 3 DDDs.
I don't know what it is. There's just a lot of people that are willing to drive drunk people home, I guess. There's a bunch of DDDs.
There's 3 of them ready and available.
But that show is also free, and I believe the doors are at 8 p.m. Music and merch can be purchased at spiremetal.bandcamp.com. And questions or comments, please email us at spirenymetal@gmail.com. For bonus material from these conversations and more updates on what we have going on, you can join our mailing list where we'll have the right details to these shows by going to spire.fanbridge.com. Thanks for listening, and see you at the show.